Most High in Christ. Bear with me 1 second, Israel. We'll be rocking and rolling in 1 second. We'll be rocking and rolling. All right. Most High in Christ, Most High in Christ. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Barakatham. Yahweh Shema Tham Bashim Yahshua. I am Priest and Officer of 5,000 Yedaya. This is the Monday night scripture breakdown class. Understand something. Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, we got to come out of the world. We got to come out of this society and realize that we have been lied to as the Lord's chosen people. As you can tell by the title of the video, you know what I mean, the class, we're going to be going into how Islam is idolatry. And not just that Islam is idolatry, about how Christianity and all of these different religions is not the way of the God of the Bible, Yahweh. I had a young brother tell me with thumb yard, well, I believe in the universe. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? He said, well, I believe that, God created all these different religions. And that is not true. The God of the Bible, the God of Israel, the God of Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians is only our God. Scripture says in Deuteronomy 6:4, Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Allahayana Yahweh God. Meaning our God is one God, and he's only our God. All of these different nations and their gods, it's simply idolatry. Right. And our God never wanted us to get caught up in that. If I could, give me Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3. If y'all have any questions in the room, any questions in the chat, I will gladly answer your questions tonight. I will gladly answer your questions. But give me Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3, Bubba Kashaw.
This is book of Exodus 20 and verse 3.
Let's go.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. We have to understand that when the Lord said, thou shalt have no other gods before me, meaning you can't have the God of the Christian church before the Most High, Yahweh. You can't have the God of Islam, Allah, before the Most High, Yahweh. You can't. The Lord said, thou shalt have no other gods before me. And that's the issue here in America. Here in America, they teach us that you can worship whatever God that you want. Listen, if you are a Black, Latino, or Native American Indian, there is only one God. His name is Yahweh. Pray you understand it. He said, what I bought? Read it again from the top.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Understand that. You can't have no other God before our God. And guess what? The God of the Muslim mosque, the God of the Christian church, they are not. Listen, man, give me Deuteronomy chapter 4, right? 4 and verse 27. I'm going to go into it and show you how Christianity and Islam is idolatry. It's right here in the Bible. And our people get caught up into it. And why do you get caught up into it? Because what's going on right now? So-called Ramadan. Oh, my Lord, you know about Ramadan. Oh, my Lord, my thumb yard. Here in Philadelphia, man. Philadelphia got more Muslims, you know what I mean, outside of damn near Mecca, it seems like. And it's a damn shame, man, to see our people get caught up in nonsense. Because Islam is nonsense. Like, it's a lot of, and listen, man, it's no different than the Christian church. We're going to get into it tonight. But first, I'm going to show you, according to the God of the Bible, that Islam is idolatry and Christianity. In Deuteronomy chapter 4, and verse 27, Bubba for sure.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 27.
Go ahead.
And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations.
The Lord said that he was going to scatter us among the nations. What does it mean when he says the Lord will scatter you among the nations? I'll tell you. We got scattered among the nations because we disobeyed our God. And in disobeying our God, guess what happened? We got scattered among the nations. That's why you can find a Black or a Latino man and woman anywhere on the earth. Keep going.
And ye shall be left few in number among the heathen.
And we shall be left few in number among the heathen. Meaning this, wherever we were, scattered, guess what? There's Israelites everywhere. And the Lord said that he was going to scatter us few in number among the heathen. That's why you'll find a Black or a Latino or First Nation man and woman anywhere on the earth. Keep going.
whither the Lord shall lead you.
Whither the Lord shall lead you. Keep going.
Verse 28. And there ye shall serve God.
And there ye shall serve what?
God.
And there ye shall serve gods. Ooh-wee. He said, and we shall serve what?
God.
Man, the Lord told us because we disobeyed him, we're going to get put in other lands and we would serve gods. Bro, keep going.
The work of men's hands.
The works of what?
The work of men's hands.
The work of men's hands. Meaning this. When it says the work of men's hands, understand something. Meaning men made these gods. Somebody made Allah.
Right.
Somebody made Caesar Borgia. Somebody made Shiva, the god of the East Indians. Somebody made Buddha. Somebody made these different gods, man. And guess what? Our God is not for it. Our God is not with this nonsense and foolishness. It said that we shall serve gods, the works of men's hands, meaning these gods are the works of the hands of men. And our God ain't with it. Keep reading.
Wood and stone.
Wood and stone. Ooh-wee. Wood and stone. So when you read, right, in the Bible, in Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 28, in wood and stone, guess what? What is the wood? The wood is that cross that you wear around your neck. The stone is that Kaaba stone in Mecca. The wood is the cross. The stone is that Kaaba stone. And that's idolatry according to God. God is telling us that we would serve God, you know what I mean? God, the works of men's hands of wood and stone, man. The Most High God, Yahweh, is against Christianity and he is against Islam. That's why we have to come out of both. We have to come out of both because it is not for our people. And let me explain something to you. Every Black, Latino, and Native American Indian out there, our God told us this. Our God told us to be separate from them, to separate ourselves from this society for great measure. If I could, I'd buy. Give me Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26, and then give me Matthew chapter 6 and verse 16. Because this is what we have to understand in this society. We get so caught up in the oppressor's culture, in his way of life, we end up doing things like him. We end up doing things after the heathens. And this is not what we're supposed to do. Like you putting on that, you know what I mean, that Muslim garb, you know what I mean, taking your shahada, banging your face against a stone, against a piece of coal, you know what I mean, is unbelievable, Ibad.
Right.
Unbelievable. And it's not what our God intended for our people.
Right.
We have a God.
Right.
We do. And we have to serve him. We have to keep his commandments. We have a king that gave up his life so we could come back to life ourselves.
Right.
Islam and Christianity is not the way. This is why separation is important. Because when we get caught up in idolatry, we get caught up in masquerading like these other nations. And listen, man, what Kazak Imam was bringing out was so heavy on Let the Hebrews Speak, covering for 12-shield General, you know what I mean, Hazayan, and 6-shield General Kathungabar was so heavy, right? Our people, you think, you know what I mean, that Adam and Eve was the first people. No, there was people before Adam and Eve. And our God didn't want Adam and Eve being like the other nations, because the Most High gave Adam the breath of life. Right. And the breath of life is keeping the commandments of God. Keep going, my Bob. Read what you got.
This is book of Leviticus 20 and verse 26.
Go ahead.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
The Bible says, and ye shall be holy unto me. When it says ye shall be holy unto me, holy doesn't mean what you think it means. Holy is not your pastor or your imam with the white robe or purple gown on, talking about if you ever been swallowed up. They're not holy. Holy means to be separate, set apart. Read.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am holy. The Most High is holy. The Most High is set apart. Even when you look at the Bible, when it says, ye shall be holy unto me, it's called what? The Holy Bible. The Bible is separate for Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Why? Because our God, Yahweh, is separate, set apart. Read.
And have severed you from other people.
And have what?
And have severed you from other people.
And have severed you from other people. Our God severed us from other people. Meaning this, if I was to sever my arm from my body, it's no longer attached. Our God severed us from the oppressor, severed us from the Africans, severed us from the Arabs. The problem is we get caught up in this society and think we have to integrate with them, and we end up living like these heathens, man. We end up doing the things that they do. And this is not what our God intended for us to be and to do. I pray you understand. Keep going.
That ye should be mine.
That ye should be mine, because we belong to the Most High. We belong to our God, Yahweh. That's who we belong to. We don't belong to these other nations. We're out of place trying to be Muslim. I don't think you realize how out of place we actually are. And I've actually asked brothers and sisters this, I would ask them, like, would you allow a 50-year-old man to marry your 6-year-old daughter? They would look in shock and horror, like, why would you ask me that? Of course not. In Islam, that is condoned because Muhammad did that to Aisha.
Right.
No brother or sister in their right is letting no 40, 50-year-old man, no grown man, period, marry baby girl. You'd unalive them for even asking that question. Come on, man. But in Islam, you can do that. They have child marriages to this day where you got children that are marrying grown-ass men. We can't get caught up in that.
Right.
And in Ramadan is a cheap imitation of the Day of Atonement. And let me tell you something. When I say a cheap imitation, you've seen some of these brothers and some of these sisters, man. It's comical to me. It's comical to me. Because they act like it's the end of the world. The end of the world. We're going to break it down. Let me show you what Christ said about that. Let me explain to you, like, our high holy day, the Day of Atonement, man, is an amazing high holy day, man. To atone, you know what I mean, for past sins and mistakes, man. To get right, to attempt to get right, to fast 24 hours, and not the fast that they do. I'm talking about a full fast. I'm talking about 24 hours, no food, no water.
Right.
Man, Muslims, you act like you can't go 12 hours just drinking water. Shalom, warrior, Lord of Christ. And I'm going to show you what Christ said about that. Give me Matthew chapter 6 in verse 16, Bubba Quick.
When you go to Matthew 6 and verse 16.
Go ahead.
Moreover, when you fast.
When ye what? Christ is speaking right here. Christ said, moreover, when ye fast, read.
Be not as the hypocrites.
Be not as the who?
Hypocrites.
Christ said, when ye fast, be not as the hypocrites. Ooh, what is Christ talking about when he said, be not as the hypocrites when you fast? Who's Christ talking about? Let me explain something to you. I'll tell you who Christ is talking about. Christ is Shalom, boy, Lord of Christ. Christ is talking about them brothers and them sisters, man, that are Muslim, you know what I mean, or you a Jehovah's Witness or whatever, and you doing a little nonsense water fast for 12 hours, thinking you doing something. I know you've seen them, Yawanathan, but them y'all seen them brothers. Man, if it's a man, Israel, man, check on your brothers and sisters, man, that are foolish enough to be in the world and practice Ramadan. Because they act like it's the worst shit ever. They ain't like you, Yawanathan, going through the Day of Atonement. Give Yawanathan a hand. I mean, born and raised in this truth. I mean, all these brothers and sisters in these truth, man, doing it the right way. And the right way is one West. We got brothers and sisters right now, that's going through it. I've seen it. I've been checking on them brothers, I'll be like, Khalil, you good? I'm like, you good, brother? He'd be like, Inshallah. You know what I'm talking about, right, bro? You check on it, yeah. He'd be like, Inshallah, brother. And I'd be like, they'd be like, if it be the will of God, I'm gonna get through this Ramadan. Looking just pitiful and pathetic in the face. Like it's shameful, sis. You know what I mean? I don't mean to mess with it. God damn. Like you act like it's the worst thing in the world. They be like, man, I could just get a turkey sandwich and it's gotta wait till the sun go down while drinking their water like this. They sitting there drinking their water like shaking. You know what I mean? Like they jonesing. Nah, man. Christ said this. Read that again from the top. Book
of Matthew 6 and verse 16. Moreover,
when you fast, read.
Be not as the hypocrites.
Be not as the hypocrites. Don't be like them. They sitting there struggling, drinking the water, like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. Don't be like them. Don't do that. Do not read.
of a sad countenance.
Of a sad countenance. Ooh-wee. Have a sad countenance. First of all, no Christ is saying nobody should know you fasting, first of all.
Right.
Nobody should know you were even fasting. But you can tell when they fast, they just look so sad and pitiful. Oh, man. I'm telling you, Jonathan. I'll be like, Khalid, you good, brother? If it be the will of God, you die. I'm going to get through it. You be sitting on that rug at the other end of the warehouse, you know what I mean, struggling to get down, you know what I mean, to do his little prayer, talking about if I can just make it till the sun go down. And I mess with him too, sis. Salaki. Y'all ain't got to be like me. I'm petty. I'm like, I'm going to Chick-fil-A, brother. You want something? I got the app. You know what I mean? 2 for $6, brother. I can hook you up. It's on me. Understand something. Christ is saying when you fast, don't be like the hypocrites. Don't have a sad countenance. Meaning no one should know you going through it. No. Keep going, Ibad.
For they disfigure their faces.
For they disfigure their faces. Oh, man, they make them faces. They look so terrible. You know what I mean? It look like it's the worst thing ever. It look like they puppy died. And I'd be like, God damn, bro, it's not that bad. It ain't that deep. Keep going.
For they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast.
So they may appear. Listen, read that last line again, because that's so heavy.
For they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast.
They doing all that because they want people to know that they're fasting. People in the world look like, oh, that's that brother Khalid. He a spiritual man. Man, Khalid, you know what I mean? Khalil, they spiritual. They spiritual. Look at Jalil, man. He got dirt on his face. He crying. You know what I mean? That's a spiritual man because he's fasting. Christ called them hypocrites. Hypocrites. We ain't supposed to be doing none of that. It's a show for them. It's a show. That's all it is. That's why our king called them hypocrites, man. You can't do that. Keep going, Ibab.
You reward.
You better believe that. Verily I say unto you, Christ said they have them. Ooh-wee. And it ain't even really a reward. Because here's the thing with that, right? You showing off, you know what I mean, for the oppressor and others. You know what I mean? The Most High ain't honoring that.
Right.
Our king just called you a hypocrite for doing it. They have their reward. They trying to get justification, you know what I mean, from other people to make it seem like they righteous, but God does not honor that. He doesn't acknowledge it. It's nothing to him. That's why Christ called them hypocrites. They have their reward. Keep going.
But when
listen, Christ said this, letting us know, when we fast, read.
Anoint thy head and wash thy face.
Anoint thy head and wash thy face. What does Christ say? Anoint your head. Put that oil on your head, man. Wash your face. Don't look pitiful. Don't look sad. Don't look weak. No one should even know that you fast. That's why I big up every brother and sister here in the ISUPK that do that Day of Atonement, man. We rock out that Day of Atonement, and nobody knows that we're fasting. Tell you something, you want to listen, I went into the slave last year, brother, and I started shit. Lucky. You would have never thought. You'd have never thought. You got to go through your day like it's a regular day. It ain't that bad. Anoint thy head, man. Wash your face. Also, too, brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. It's a shame that I got to sit up here and tell you on behalf of Commander Junior Holidays Flat School UPK. Brush your teeth. Wash your face. Out here looking musty and dusty. You ain't got to do that. You don't. Wash your face. Brush your teeth. I can make it a little tough. Don't even put the water in your mouth to gargle. Let that toothpaste simmer in your mouth. Let it simmer. Let it burn. But wash your face, brush your teeth. Go about your day like it's a regular day. Keep reading that, man.
That thou appear not unto men to fast.
Man, that thou appear not unto men to fast. Oui. Christ is saying this. Do that. Wash your face, that thou appear not unto men. Who the hell are you trying to appease? You ain't got to appease them. Christ is saying nobody should know that you fast. Unless you know the type of circus that Islam is. for 12 hours, you know what I mean? For barely 12 hours, you act like you about to die because you ain't had no food. The problem is you have no discipline. You have no discipline. You don't. Oh, I saw a post that my brother Zerah Bakar, big up Zerah Bakar, and he was right. He said, y'all about to fast for a few. I'm 2 hours. You can put mine on the microwave, put a plate over. I'm gonna eat it later. The water warrior, I appreciate it. Understand something. Y'all gonna hey, man. They are going to fast for 12 hours, act like they're gonna die, and then they're gonna sell drugs later. They not. Man, was Zerah said that shit, I was like, man, that is so true. I said, man, you gonna look like you about to die for the first couple hours of the day. When the sun go down, you're gonna have a bologna sandwich. And then you go sell drugs, then you go back to the block. Brother, Islam is garbage. We done with Islam. Right. We done with Christianity. Right. That should be a shirt I buy. We done with Christianity. We done with Islam. We done with it. It's over. It's garbage. I pray you understand. Our King said, but when thou fastest, anoint thy head and wash thy face, that thou appear not unto men too fast. Keep reading.
Verily, I say unto you, they have their reward.
Read verse 18.
Verse 18. That thou appear not unto men to fast, but unto thy Father which is in secret.
Well, for the Most High, our Father which is in secret. That men should not know when we fast. The only one that should know is the Most High.
Right.
Most High is the one that should know when we fast. Read.
And thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly.
Read that again.
And thy Father which seeth in secret.
When the Most High sees you fasting in secret, keep going.
Shall reward thee openly.
He shall reward thee openly. Man, you fast for the Most High. Do what you're supposed to do for the Most High in secret. That's what the Lord rewards you openly.
Right.
Goes to show you, man, why you can't get caught up in that idolatry. Why you can't get caught up in that Islam. And I titled the class for this reason. I want you to give me the book of Baruch, right? I want you to give me the book of Baruch, chapter 6 and verse 1. So we're going to go into all that. We're going to go into all of that and why we're not supposed to be in that. Because it's straight nonsense on what our people have gotten caught up into with this Islam and this Christianity. And it has a crazy chokehold on our people. A chokehold on our people that is just ridiculous. And our God isn't for neither Christianity or Islam. And I'm going to show it to you. This is what our God said in Baruch. We're going to go to Baruch, the 6th chapter. And we're going to start at verse 1.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 6, and verse 1. Because of the sin which ye have committed before God, ye shall be led away captive into Babylon.
Listen, because of the sins that we did, we got led away captive into Babylon. Now, America is spiritually Babylon and Egypt. Now, I understand something. The first Babylon we got caught up into with Nebuchadnezzar because we disobeyed our God because of our sins. Now, our God said, because of the sins which ye have committed before God, ye shall be led away captives into Babylon. Read.
By
Nebuchadnezzar.
By Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
King of the Babylonians.
King of the Babylonians, man. By Nebuchadnezzar, the king of the Babylonians. Now, we got caught up in Babylon, you know what I mean, under Nebuchadnezzar. And we're going to go into a few instances, too, when we were in Babylon and we're caught up. Because the problem is our people get caught up in America and believe you have to conform to Islam and Christianity. I'm going to show you examples of some powerful brothers that did not conform. We're going to go into Daniel a little later. We're going to go into Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. Right. You know, we're going to go into them righteous brothers and how they did not conform. You know what I mean? Also with Mattathias, we just got through with it was so heavy with Mattathias and with Esther and her uncle Mordecai with the Feast of Purim and the Feast of Hanukkah. Our people, man, you do not have to fold under the oppressor. You don't. Our God gave us clear instruction when we go into captivity on what we have to do. And we don't have to bow down to the gods of this place. Read.
Verse 3. So when ye be come unto Babylon, ye shall remain there many years.
Our God said, when we come into Babylon, we will remain there many years. Keep going.
And for a long season.
And for a long season. Listen, man, we're going to be in. The Lord told us when we come into Babylon, we're going to be there for a minute, more than a little bit. Keep going.
Namely, 7 generations.
Namely, 7 generations. Ooh-wee. Keep going.
And after that, I will bring you away peaceably from thence.
The Lord said he will bring us away peaceably from thence. Keep reading.
Verse 4. Now shall ye see in Babylon gods of silver and of gold.
Our God said in Baruch chapter 6 and verse 4, right? Now shall ye see in Babylon gods of silver and gold. Meaning our God was telling us that when we get into Babylon, we would see gods of silver and gold. Ooh-wee. And that's so important. Because guess what? Just like how we were back then in Babylon, it's the same in how we're here. You know what I mean? In Babylon, the great whore, America. You see many different gods of gold and silver. You get caught up in that Christianity, that Islam with Buddha and Shiva and Horus and Set and all these different gods. Our God said, so when you come into the Babylon, you shall remain there many years, as long a long season, namely 7 generations. That I will bring thee peaceably away. Now, when you see in Babylon the gods of silver and gold, read.
And of wood.
And of what?
Wood.
And of wood. And of wood, we went over that. What is that Christian cross, man? I be seeing y'all, we're rocking y'all cross, and you think Christ is down with that. If Christ was shot with an AR-15, would you wear an AR-15 around your neck? Of course not. Of course not, because that would be disrespectful.
Right.
A cross is disrespectful too. That cobblestone is disrespectful. Keep going.
Born upon shoulders, which caused the nations to fear.
These gods caused the nations to fear. We caused the nations to fear. Let me explain something to you. If you don't conform, you know what I mean, to the gods of these heathens, there was consequences. There was consequences. We're going to go over that with Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego and Daniel. They came after Mattathias. We just broke down in Purim, you know what I mean, on how Mordecai, he did not bow down to Agag. You know what I mean? And he was distraught from that. I wanted to wipe us all out. You don't have to conform to America. You don't have to conform to Babylon. Read.
Verse 5. Beware, therefore, that ye in no wise be like to strangers.
Beware, in no wise be like to strangers. We ain't supposed to be like these heathen nations. They can be afraid of these other nations. Let me tell you something. You know why Arabs wear suits now and they don't wear them towels on their heads? I'll tell you why. Because of America.
Right.
Because of America. Bombing Afghanistan, bombing Kuwait and all them different Arab countries, making them conform. You know why the Japanese don't wear, you know what I mean, the samurai armor and the geishas and the kimoras anymore? Because of what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That's why they wear suit and tie now. But our God said this, would be not like unto the strangers. We ain't supposed to be like them. Why is that? Keep reading.
Neither be ye afraid of them.
Neither be ye afraid of them. We ain't supposed to be afraid of them. You don't have to fear America. You don't have to fear the gods of this place. You do not. You don't have to fear the gods of this place. I pray you understand. Because the gods of these nations mean nothing. And that is what our God, Yahweh, is telling us, man. Right. He's telling us that these gods mean nothing.
Right.
They're nothing. Right. Buddha is nothing.
Right.
Shiva is nothing. A lot of you don't realize the reason why you wear dreadlocks is because you're giving honor to the god, you know what I mean, of the East Indian Shiva. Dreadlocks ain't Israelite customs. You sitting up there like, I got my locks. Let me tell you something. If you look up in the Bible dictionary, it tells you what locks are. Locks are braids.
Wow.
Locks are braids. Dreadlocks is just dead hair that the East Indians wear that they don't have, you know what I mean, proper sanitation.
Right.
They don't. They don't wash. They don't do whatever they hair and their bodies. I pray you understand it's nasty, you want to think. Right. It's nasty. I don't got to tell you about how the East Indians smell. I pray you understand. It's just like the Africans, rhinoceros residue and giraffe water. It's a rough situation over there. Right. And then they take the dead hair out of their drains, Jonathan, and sell it to our systems. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But our God said, "Be ye not afraid of them." Don't be afraid of them. Keep reading.
When you see the multitude before them and behind them worshiping them.
When ye see the multitude of them worshiping and serving them, we ain't supposed to do that. Let them worship Buddha. Let them worship Shiva. Let them worship Allah and Caesar Borgia. But what we better do, we better serve the God of niggas, right. Yahweh. That's what we have to do. Right. That's the God we have to fear. You don't got to fear Allah. Let me ask y'all a question. Is Palestine not being bombed with smithereens right now? Where is Allah? That's a scripture in the Bible that I be looking at. I said, this is how I knew, that the Israelites was niggas. That when Elijah came up against the prophets of Baal, and Elijah was talking shit, slacking for the language, Elijah was like, man, where Baal at, I buy? Maybe he went on a journey. Maybe he's sleeping. Oh, he was out last night. He was shook. Brother, that's how I knew that Elijah was a black man. Because don't nobody talk the way we do. Because Elijah understood something that we understand here in the Israelite school of UPK. That there's one God, and his name is Yahweh. Yahweh, Shemaya Sha'ala Yahweh, Alahayanawa Yahweh Akkad. Our God is one God. We ain't got to fear these nations and their gods. I know y'all see y'all Muslim brothers and sisters, man, and it's a damn shame, man. They looking as pitiful as can be right now. Some of them ain't gonna make it. 40-something days, Bakariala? Some of them ain't gonna make it. It's a rough situation. But the point is, the only way to really make it is to get up in here in the ISUPK. That's the only way to make it. Keep going.
But say in your heart, O Lord, we must worship thee.
Say that again.
But say ye in your heart.
Say ye in your heart, meaning say ye in your mind. This is what you have to say in your mind, because that's what your heart is. Read that again.
But say ye in your heart, O Lord, we must worship thee.
Say ye in your heart, O Lord, we must worship thee. We have to worship and serve the Most High. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do as the Lord's chosen people. We have to serve the Most High. We got to do what the Lord said to do. And that's what our people have to realize, man. These other nations, and our God is going to break it down a little further. These guys can't save themselves from the rust and the mold that's going to happen to them, because they're the works of men's hands, like we broke down in Deuteronomy 4 and verse 27 and 28. Right. Our God is not with Islam, man. He's not with it. And how do we know he's not with Islam? I'll tell you why. Get me Romans 9 and verse 3, Baba Kushar, Yawanathan. After we read that, we're going to go into from Babylon to Timbuktu. Okay. If there are any questions in the room, I'll be answering your questions tonight. Any questions online? Priest and Officer 5,000, you die. I'm covering for 12 Shield General Muhammad and 12 Shield General Mayat, two of the hardest working brothers in Israel. Now, let me get Romans chapter 9 and verse 3.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
For I could wish that myself were cursed.
Paul is asking, I wish for myself to be accursed from Christ. Paul is a righteous black man that changed his life, that became a new man. The old man, Saul, died. The new man, Paul, was born. He said, I wish for myself to be accursed from Christ. Paul is saying, I'll be the only fake Israelite. I'll be the only Christian. I'll be the only Muslim. Read. For my what? For my akim, for my brothers. Keep going. My kinsmen. Keep going.
According to the flesh.
My kinsmen, my familia, according to the flesh. Because blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, we are family. Nosotros somos familia una raza. We are one people. We are one family. Keep reading.
Who are Israelites?
Who are what?
Israelites.
Who are Israelites? We're Israelites, man. We ain't African. We damn sure ain't American. How the hell can you be African American, by the way? We're not descendants of Leo Scipios Africanus. We're not descendants of Americos Vespucci. We're not. We're not Arabs. I tell you something, man. And a lot of you brothers, you be, and I see you, and you look foolish. You look foolish talking about salam alaikum. This is ridiculous, Barzal. Talk about salam alaikum, brother. I'll be like, salami, eggs, and bacon to you too. That's what that should mean to me. Salakim for the language. It's nothing. For my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites. Read.
To whom pertaineth the adoption?
For who attained the adoption? For who pertained the adoption? We were adopted by the Most High. We were chosen by our God. Ishmael wasn't chosen. But we're going to go into that because that's who the Arabs descend from. They descend from Ishmael. We descend from Isaac. We're not the same people.
Right.
Keep reading.
And the glory.
Mm-hmm.
And the covenant.
And the glory and the covenants. Read on.
And the giving of the law.
And the giving of the law. Because the law was only given to the children of Israel. Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Ishmael wouldn't know nothing about that. It wasn't given to him. It wasn't given to Ishmael. They wish they had it, but they don't have it. These other nations don't have it. We have something that is amazing. Go ahead, Bakar Yala.
You bring out so heavy because I was trying to tell somebody. I said, yeah, the y'all fast is not sanctioned by the Most High. I said, judges don't have to stop doing it, but it's not sanctioned by anybody, any prophet in the Bible to do that.
No, and what you're saying is so heavy. We just broke that down in Matthew the 6th chapter. Listen, I be messing with a Bakar Yala. How about listen, Khalil? I'm going to Chick-fil-A. I'm going to Popeyes. You want something? I got the app. You know, I get an extra sandwich free. I see you struggling. You know what I mean? Because the Lord don't honor that. Man, you about to do all that and then sell drugs later. Like, where we do that, Malachi? and you're of God, you're spiritual, you're righteous. Don't get me started on them whores and head wraps. Don't get me started on them. You know what I mean? Some of y'all see a sister in a head wrap, and then, you know what I mean? You think, oh my God, this is a godly woman. She ain't a godly woman unless she's in the UPK. Because these are the red flags you got to look for. You see that sage burning? What's the other thing, Bakar, all them girls you be talking to? That what other stuff they be doing?
You're like rocks.
Good, nice. You said, hey, listen, man, they like rocks too, huh? You see the little rocks and the little beads, the little arm beads around the arm. And like, I ain't saying that's unlawful, but when I see it with them, yeah, I think, you know what I mean? You worshiping something else. You out there burning the sage. You out there with your shoes off in the grass. And don't bring up that you can't smoke weed. You want to find that you can't smoke. My God, a demon to come out and talk about, oh, I'm fasting for the universe. Like, what the hell does that mean, Malaki? What does that mean? And then they be like, oh, I'm vegan. I don't eat nothing with a face. God damn. It's a rough situation. You're doing it for attention. You're an attention whore. Can't be an attention whore. Right. If think you're serving the Most High. Right. Like we were reading in Matthew, the 6th chapter, in the 16th verse, what Christ said. He told us, our King told us, wash your face. Man, brush your teeth too. Right. Do it in secret, and our God will reward you openly. Don't be like that. But this is only for the children of Israel. We were given the covenants and the giving of the law. Read.
In the service of God.
In the service of God. Drop down to verse 6. Yawanathan.
Not as though the word of God has taken none effect. For they are not all Israel, which are of Israel.
For they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. But some of y'all, if you see me a little one more time with that good strong back there. The water sits for making the food, man. Get a sister a hand for making the food, bro. Water. Christ. Understand something. Now, when it says, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel, I'll give you a prime example of that. Bob Marley. I told a brother the other day, but I'm a lock here, that Bob Marley was not our people. He lost it. Barzal, they jump to their favorite, but the melanin, Yediah. He got the melanin. Like that means something. Because you got a darker hue. What does that mean? Everybody has melanin to a degree except one man who's cursed, who's the devil that the Bible speaks of. But that don't mean we the same. Have you not heard the phrase all skin folk ain't kinfolk? Just because you melanated don't mean we the same people. I pray you understand. When it says, but they are not all Israel, which are of Israel, Bob Marley's an example of that. His mother's an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin, but his father is a Edomite of the seed of Esau, the devil that the Bible speaks of. Tracy Ellis Ross is another one that's like that, man. I pray you understand. Even when you look at, and it's going to go a little further into it when we read verse 7, even when you look at Arabs descend from Abraham, but they were not chosen. The water warrior, I appreciate you. They weren't chosen. Even when the so-called Jew Malachi tries to say, oh, you're anti-Semitic, it's actually Shemitic. Because we descend from Shem. But the Chinese descend from Shem. The East Indians descend from Shem. The Japanese descend from Shem. The Arabs descend from Shem. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man, we descend from Shem. The oppressor descends from Shem too. But who was chosen out of Shem? Blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians. We were the ones that were chosen. Not all skin folk is kinfolk. For they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. You got some chocolate-covered Edomites walking around here, Barzal. Keep reading. Verse 7.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham, read.
Are they all children?
Just because you of the seed of Abraham don't mean that you all children. Ishmael came out of Abraham. Esau came out of Abraham. Esau is the white man, and Ishmael is the Arab man. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they children. Read.
But in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
But in what?
Isaac shall thy seed be called.
But in Isaac shall thy seed be called. And it's heavy. You got to come from our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because out of Isaac came who? Jacob. Esau came out of Isaac, but Esau wasn't chosen. Jacob was. And I'm going to tell you how significant that is. You know who Isaac is and was? Our king, Yahushua Mashiach. Jesus Christ was here before, man. Yahushua was here as Adam, Melchizedek, Isaac, Solomon, and then Christ. You know, we are of Isaac. We're of our king. And he ain't come, you know what I mean, to redeem everybody and save everybody. No. He came for us. It's a wicked thing to try to give this to everybody. And I'm going to go over a little bit of the history of the Arabs right now. Hey, Bob, you got what I asked for? The water, you want it down for reading? Give me it from Babylon to Timbuktu, right? Give me page 45. I'll tell you something when y'all talk about Muhammad. Barzal, give me Galatians 1 and 8. Galatians 1 and 8. Malakia, you can hold that. Give me Bell and the Dragon. Bell and the Dragon 1. But let me get Ibad first from Babylon to Timbuktu.
This is from Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor, page 45.
Go ahead.
When Muhammad was born, many Arabs were still worshiping the sun, stars, spirits, and idols.
Woo-wee. When Muhammad was born, many Arabs were still worshiping the sun, stars, spirits, and idols. Let me explain something to you. There's another book, you know what I mean, the Captain's Eye one in the Delaware School has. I'm getting ready to acquire for myself. I've been looking for it. Satan's Angels Exposed. That's another good book that exposes the false deities, you know what I mean, and idols of these heathens, right? Many of the Arabs when Muhammad was born were still worshiping the sun, moon, and stars and other garbage. Another excerpt from Satan's Angels Exposed is this, is that when the Arabs had their gods, right, it wasn't just Allah. They had a God for every day of the year. And then they narrowed it down to Allah and Allah's daughters. Then it got nailed down to just Allah. But the Arabs worship a God of every day. They had a God for every day. That's why I said they worship the sun, moon, and stars. We didn't write from Babylon to Timbuktu. It was written by Rudolph Windsor. You know what I mean? The brother, you know what I mean, that went to Temple College here in Philadelphia. Some of the brothers in the school even met him. I know Karam Ya'ala met him. You know what I mean? It's a powerful book. He did the research and did the information and proved on how Muhammad was a false idol. When Muhammad was born, y'all prophet, the Arabs were still worshiping gods of different, you know what I mean, of different days. The sun, moon, and stars. Read.
The Arabs possessed 360 idols.
God damn. 360 idols. Read.
One for each day of the year.
One for each day of the year. One for each day of the year. Keep going. They had a God for every day. Who else had gods for each day? The Egyptians had gods for each day. And that's why it's so foolish to get caught up in Egyptology, Malachi. Like y'all gonna be set tripping about them gods. And they wasn't set tripping. That's why the gods was abusing each other and raping each other. And mind you, that's the works of men's hands. So you know what the Africans was doing to each other. The same thing that they're doing to each other right now. Keep going.
Okay. Muhammad was born AD 570,
Mm-hmm.
4 years after the death of Emperor Justinian.
Mm-hmm.
He was descended from the tribe of Korea and the family of Hashem.
Yeah.
His mentality was prodigious.
Mm-hmm.
In his youth, he was never taught to read or write, but his imagination was.
Listen, he had a superb imagination. He was never taught to read or write. Drop down to after Muhammad became.
After Muhammad became a camel driver.
Now, he became a camel driver. Why is that significant with Muhammad? And Muhammad was an Ishmaelite of the seed of Ishmael. I'm going to tell you why that is important. Ishmael is still driving the taxi cabs to this day. You think you doing Uber. Ishmael was doing Uber before Uber and Lyft was a thing. He was doing it before the automobile, Yawanathan. He was on a camel. That's what Ishmael's good at, bars on. I'll let Ishmael make chopped cheese and get in the kitchen and doing that. I'm gonna tell you something. In the kingdom, they're going back to what they do best. They're gonna be driving them camels. I mean, they ain't driving on chariots. That's gonna be unlawful. That's a lot. I better not catch no Ishmaelite and no chariot. It ain't gonna happen. But they're gonna do what they do. They're gonna be ferrying different heathens around by the way of travel that they are accustomed to. That's what they're supposed to be doing. So when you see an Arab, you know what I mean, doing Uber, Lyft, or in the yellow cab, he's in his natural habitat. That's what he was bred to do. Keep going.
He traveled to remote and intriguing lands.
Mm-hmm.
He led his caravan to Syria and Egypt.
It was all over the place. He had his caravans. He went up the Persia, Syria, and Egypt. Read.
Transacting business with merchants of every kind.
Come.
On his business trip, he met Jews, Christians, and members of other sects.
He met Jews, Christians, and members of other sects, mainly Jews. He met niggas, met Israelites, blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And guess what he did? Read.
He interrogated them.
He what?
Interrogated them.
He interrogated us, man. He interrogated us. Malaga, you know that clip on TikTok that is hilarious, that sound bite? You know what I mean? I could just picture Ishmael. I could picture Muhammad asking a poor brother, let me tell you something. 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 That's what they were doing. That's what he was doing to brothers. Keep going.
Oh God. Concerning the tenets of their religion.
Concerning the tenets of their religion. Because he looked at us and he knew we had it together, that our God was with us. And he understood that his people was a wild people. The scripture says that Ishmael is a wild man. Ishmael a wild man today. Ishmael a wild man today, man. You listen, you cross Ishmael, everything going kaboom. It's not why y'all laughing. I'm dead serious. I seen an Ishmaelite on TikTok. This devil was like, yeah, somebody come in the house. You know what I mean? I got a knife. Ishmael said, yes, sister, you are right. Someone come in the house, I make the whole neighborhood kaboom. I said, you what? You do what now, Ishmael? Man, you cross Ishmael, everything's going kaboom. He blowing it up. That's their nature. Keep going, everybody.
He frequented the environment of the Jews and their rabbis.
He frequented, meaning he always went to where we were. Muhammad was fascinated with our people. Now go to page 46, Ibad.
Okay.
Go to page 46, where Muhammad spent many days.
Okay.
Read that.
This is page 46. Muhammad spent many days in the hills outside of Mecca. He was immersed deeply in the deplorable conditions of his people.
He was immersed what?
Deeply in the deplorable conditions of his people.
He was immersed deeply in the deplorable conditions of his people. Let me explain something to you. Do not let Arabs fool you and think that they have this high society or this high morality. Their conditions are deplorable. Because when Muhammad was coming up, man, they was caught up in all different forms of idolatry, and he understood this. And let me tell you how heavy that is. Muhammad realized something about our people and his. He realized that we were better than him, that we were better than the Ishmaelites, way better, that our God is with us. And he looked at the deplorable conditions of his people and said, I have to attempt to do something about this. And I got to do something. So do not let Arabs fool you that they have this high sense of morality or this high sense of knowledge and spirituality. That's all a lie. Anything great that you think spiritually about them or whatever, it's a facade.
Right.
They're emulating us.
Right.
They wish they could be what we were made to be naturally. And that's righteous. Something that Ishmael doesn't understand. But this Ishmaelite and Muhammad understood that. He said, hold on, man, my people had deplorable conditions. How can I change that? Read.
He wanted to lead them away from moral turpitude and idolatry.
He wanted to lead them away from more turpitude and idolatry. You imagine every day you're worshiping a different God. What type of life that could be. What type of life that could be. Just worshiping many different gods every day. Muhammad said, hold on, man, we can't do this. This ain't right. This ain't cool. I got to go. Listen, them Jews, them Israelites, them niggas, they got it together. We have to emulate them. So when you see them, that's what they're trying to do. They can't emulate and do what we can do naturally. Keep reading.
It seemed to him that the angel Gabriel appeared, commissioning him to articulate a new religion.
Read that last line again.
It seemed to him.
It seemed to him, right? It seemed to him. When it says it seemed to him, he made this. He made it up. He made it up. Keep reading.
That the angel Gabriel
That
appeared.
the angel Gabriel appeared to him. Now, Gabriel was the same angel that came to Daniel in the Hebrew. Now, they make it seem like Gabriel appeared to Ishmael. Keep going. To appear to Muhammad.
Commissioning him to articulate a new religion to substitute for the old.
To articulate a new religion to substitute for the old. Let me tell you how that's nonsense. First of all, the Lord has never dealt with these heathens. Psalms 147 says that he has not dealt so with any nation. We were given the law, statutes, and commandments, man. That was said unto him. You know why he used Gabriel? To make it seem like the angel Gabriel came to him? Because it would be more powerful. It would be more powerful to say, hey, the angel Gabriel came to me. But let me show you what our God said in the Bible in regarding that. Barzal Rakad, do you have Galatians chapter 1 and verse 8? Please read that, Bubba Kashaw.
It's the book of Galatians, chapter 1 and verse 8.
Read.
But though we or an angel
though we or an angel from heaven, though we or an angel of heaven. So let no brother or no angel from heaven come. Read.
preach any other gospel unto you.
Don't let listen, man. Don't let no other brother, don't let no angel unto heaven preach no other gospel. Islam is garbage. It's trash. It's made up. The quote 12 Shield General Mayaka Allah, it's a comic book. That's all it is. Allah is no different than Spider-Man. He's no different than Thanos. Come on, man. He's invincible. That's all. That's all he is. That's it. He's invincible that just likes to marry 6-year-old little girls. We can't get down with that. Keep reading, Barzal.
God. unto you than that which we have preached unto you.
Mm-hmm.
Let him be accursed.
Let him be accursed. This is heavy. Our God is saying, listen, don't let, if it's another prophet or an angel that come and preach any other gospel, let him be what?
Let him be accursed.
Let him be accursed. Meaning this ain't of God. He said, I don't care if it's a brother or an angel. Let him be accursed if you come and preach another gospel. That's what should happen with Islam. They come with that Islam garbage. You should be accursed. You should be accursed. Bakari, get me in Deuteronomy where it says of another, when someone comes preach, teaching something else. You know what I'm talking about, right? I believe it's in Deuteronomy 18. But I buy, throw out a bars off and read that. I buy, go back to where you were, Bubba Quashaw. As a matter of fact, go to page 48. Go to page 48 where I got highlighted that.
This is the book of Babylon Timbuktu, page 48. The Prophet Muhammad adopted many principles and laws from the Jewish religion.
Listen, Muhammad adopted many principles and laws from blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. He was not a prophet, by the way. He was not a prophet. Prophets of the Most High are blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You got to be an Israelite or Jew to be a prophet. Keep going.
First of all, the basic idea of monotheism.
Monotheism is the belief of one God, read.
Which is the belief in one God.
Mm-hmm.
The Jewish confession of the unity of God is Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Elohai Yahweh Echad.
Listen, man, they understood that. They know. And Shema Yasharallah Yahweh, Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Elohai Yahweh Echad, meaning this: our God is one God, and that's something that he understood. He said, "Hold on, my people was worshiping a God of each day. We got to do what the Jews is doing." All right, Bob, drop down when it says Muhammad adopted also.
So Muhammad adopted also the main details of the Jewish calendar.
Listen, of our calendar, he adopted our calendar. He adopted our calendar. Keep going.
The Day of Atonement.
The Day of what?
Atonement.
The Day of Atonement. Why do you think they have Ramadan? It's a poor knockoff of the Day of Atonement. Give yourselves a hand for doing their Day of Atonement, man, and having a serious countenance in doing so. What they do is a cheap imitation, and they struggle with that, looking just as pitiful as they can be, Bakari. Keep reading that, Bob.
Okay. The Sabbath.
The Sabbath. The Sabbath. Keep going.
Much of the Bible.
Much of the Bible. Why do you think when you go into the Quran, right, you'll find, stuff like this? Now I'm going to read this. Bear with me 1 second. 1 second. I seen this the other day and I said, man, I don't understand how you can be a Muslim in 2024. I don't understand. Now, when you go to Second Surah, right? Second Surah 1 and 22. Let me get that for you. Second Surah 122 says, children of Israel, recall my favor which I bestowed upon you, and I exalted you above the nations of the world. Why are you a Muslim? If you are Black, Latino, or Native American Indian, you're an Israelite. And the Quran says in Second Surah 122, children of Israel, recall my favor. Where did they get that from? When it says, recall my favor I bestowed upon you and exalted you above the nations of the world. They got that from Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6. Because our God said, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Islam is garbage. Garbage, man. But y'all, I know y'all brothers, man. I know some of them older brothers is upset with the young brothers saying we done with the 90s, 80s, and 70s. Well, damn that. We done with Islam. We done with Christianity. That's what we really should be done with. Bob, go to the last one, right?
Okay.
Now I want you to go to the last page. Go to, matter of fact, hold on 1 second. Baba Quashaw. Go to trying his best.
Okay.
Go to trying his best on page 48.
Okay. Trying his best, Muhammad sought to convert the Jews to his new religion.
Muhammad tried to convert us. He tried to say, hey, Malakia, shalom, salam alaikum. Like, shalom, Israel, what's going on? I need you to get down with Allah. I'm like, what's that? Don't matter. No. La'ah. Barzal, salami, eggs, and bacon. Barzal just look at him like, you say another word, you getting unalive. I would have took a toe or something. That's why it says, trying his best, Muhammad sought to convert the Jews to his new religion. Keep reading.
But to no
avail. But to no avail. Because we understood something. We have to understand to this day, there's only one God, and his name is Yahweh. Hell with this little Arab is talking about following this other God. You got what I asked for, Bakar, y'all? Read that for me, Baba Kishon. We're going to read from where I bought this. Read what you got. We're going to come back to this.
Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, either that prophet shall.
Yeah, go ahead.
Prophet shall die.
Listen, man, our God said this, or the prophet of who you are, Black, Latino, First Nation, man and woman. If you go and speak, you know what I mean, of another God and try to get brothers and sisters to go to Islam, Christianity, or any of the gods of these other nations, you're going to die. You're going to die. That's why we're spiritually dead today, because we're caught up in Islam and Christianity and all the different forms of idolatry that this place promotes. Water, Bakar. Let's go back. The Jews were adamant.
The Jews were adamant and resistant to change. The high esteem which
it says the Jews were adamant and resistant to change, meaning they stood on business. Our people stood on business, man, and said, listen, when the scripture says stand fast, you know what I mean, uphold the traditions, whether you've been taught by word or epistle, that's what we have to do. That's why the ISUPK is here. We're the ones that are actually doing that. Your fake Israelite group ain't doing that. Your Christian Church of Muslim Mosques, they not doing that. Listen, man, it said that trying his best, Muhammad sought to convert the Jews to his new religion, but to no avail. The Jews were adamant and resistant to change. That's how you have to be. Resist. Fight. You got to fight. They try to get you to go back into the world to be a Christian or Muslim and celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, or your birthday. You better resist. You better resist. You better fight that demon. The hell with all that. Like the kids say, you got to stand on business. Read.
The high esteem which the prophet held for the Jews was transformed to enmity.
Ooh, enmity. Ooh, Alexa, what is the definition of enmity?
Enmity is a strong feeling of hostility or animosity towards someone or something.
Thank you, Alexa. Stop. You heard what Alexa said. Ooh, he had a lot of animosity. Oh, he was angry. He was upset. Ooh, he was big mad. Big mad. Why? Because we wasn't going to portray our God and serve him. That's why you got to understand something. Go to page 49, Ibahaya. Islam was spread with something. I'm pretty sure you can finish the phrase. Islam was spread with the sword. Yeah, the sword. That was you good. I pointed to you. Islam was spread with the sword through bloodshed. That's how everybody conformed to it. And we're going to get to that part in a second. Keep going, Ibah.
Page 49, in the Timbuktu, Muhammad tried to construct his religion as closely as he could after the Jewish religion.
He tried to construct Islam as closely as he could. You ever been in school? You know what I mean? You writing a paper and you got somebody like myself who wasn't paying attention doing this. You're like, you're dying copying off me. Oh, I wasn't. That's what he was doing. That's what he did. He tried to construct his religion as closely as he could after the Jewish religion. Keep reading.
He favored the Jews by accepting many of their laws and traditions.
He favored who?
The Jews.
Muhammad favored the Jews. He favored us and our way of living. Why in the hell would you want to be a Muslim or be an Arab? when he favored us. He favored us. Barzal, that's why I be feeling the way I feel when we go on them Crown Fried Chickens or whatever. And they be like, buddy, hello, brother. We sitting there like, he can't stand my guts. Like, get out my face, Ishmael. That's just me. That's just me. I think I hate Israel as much as the oppressor. It's a lot. It's up there. It's up there. But keep going, I buy.
When the Jews refused to be converted, he commanded his followers to stop turning to the holy city of Jerusalem to pray.
Oh, he was upset. He said, don't turn to Jerusalem no more. He said, they ain't going to follow us. Don't turn to them no more. Keep going.
But rather to turn to the city of Mecca.
That's why they don't face Jerusalem no more. That's why they face Mecca. Now, go to the last one in page 50, I buy.
Okay. This is page 50. In the year 627, the battle of the Fox, the Jewish tribes were defeated by the armies of Muhammad. 700 Jews were gathered in the marketplace to offer the alternative. The Quran or the sword.
Listen, 700 what?
700 Jews were gathered in the marketplace and offered the alternative, the Quran or the sword.
700 Jews was offered the Quran or the sword. After they defeated us, listen, Muhammad said, take the Quran, take Islam, or the sword. Read.
But the devout Jews were accustomed to martyrdom.
Yeah. Listen, read that last line again.
But the devout Jews were accustomed to martyrdom.
The devout Jews were accustomed to martyrdom, meaning they was willing to die for what we believed in and believing in our God Yahweh. And that's one West. Meaning if they offer you Islam or the sword, you better choose the sword.
Right.
You better choose the sword.
Right.
You know what I mean? I pray you understand that. We're going to go into some instances of that. Keep reading.
Okay. They did not hesitate in their choice.
They didn't even hesitate. They didn't even need to think about it, Jonathan. It wasn't even a thought. It wasn't even a, can we get back to you? It was, how the hell would I want to conform to that? No. Give me the sword. Don't sweat. We'll be back in the regeneration.
Right.
And you're back now here in the UPK.
Right.
I'm brothers and sisters. Barakatah Yahweh, for that, man. Which is so heavy for it. Them brothers and sisters, man, that chose the sword was honorable. It was honorable for this reason. Because it is better to die in serving our God than to be a coward and living like an Arab, like an oppressor. Barakatah Yahweh Shah, man. That's why when you read in Baruch, I believe it's 3 and 4, I buy, where it says, I mean, where our brothers is pleading, when Baruch is pleading to the Most High, you know what I mean? Behold, let me get it for you real quick. And it's one of my favorite scriptures, man. And which is so heavy. Man. Give me 1 second. Yeah, when it says, O Lord Almighty, thou God, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites and of their children which have sinned before thee, and have not hearkened to the voice of the Lord thy God, for they caused thee plagues to cleave unto us. Remember not the iniquities of our forefathers. When Baruch is praying, you know what I mean, to the Most High, is teaching the Lord, it's heavy for this reason. Asking the Most High for forgiveness. Because you got to understand, we were punished as a nation. You had some righteous brothers and sisters that was doing what we supposed to do. That's why it's essential for us to get right. You can drop that, I buy. Because when you read on in that, you know what I mean? Them brothers did not hesitate. It says they executed the Jews and the women were sold. Meaning this, the women were sold into harems, man. And them harems, you know what goes down in the harems, where the brothers was executed. That's why we can't be in Islam. That's why we can't be a Muslim. We can't do that. And there are some excellent examples in the Bible on why we can't do that. And I'm going to show it to you right here. If I could, I'd buy Bubba for sure. As a matter of fact, Makaria, this is what I want you to do. I want you to get me in Daniel, right? Give me Daniel chapter 6 real quick. I'm going to skip you down. Because I'm going to give you some instances of some brothers, right, that stood on business, that stood on the Most High, did not conform to this beast, that did not fold under pressure. I know you see a lot of your entertainers, a lot of your superstars, a lot of your rappers. I know a lot of y'all was upset about Meek Mill going to the Diddy party. I expect that. That's just me. If you're not in the UPK, I expect anybody to go to the Diddy party. I ain't going to the Diddy party. Malaki ain't going. Barzal ain't going. Bakari Allah and Ibad ain't going. Jonathan and the young men they ain't going. But them y'all sisters, y'all ain't going. We know what goes down there. It ain't nothing there for us. But if you a brother and sister in the world living like the oppressor, of course you're going to go. You're not supposed to do that, young man or young sister. You're not. There is another option. And I'm going to show you. And for you brothers out there, don't be too upset with that. Because it lets me know one thing. I need you to be real careful about how you're moving. You're giving too much esteem and honor to men who do not know the meaning or have it. They don't have it. These celebrities and entertainers, these rappers and superstars that you see, they don't have integrity or honor. Right. They'll do anything for $1. Right. The Most High prefers you because you ain't going to the Diddy party for no amount of money. Since you ain't going to end up like Cassie. Understand that. So when you see brothers and sisters in the world, don't put your esteem in them. You have to be the one that they look up to. You have to be that brother that they look up to. I pray you understand and you better believe that they watch us. You're not supposed to look up to them. It's backwards. They should look up to you.
Right.
Because our God commanded us to teach them and show them the way. They ain't supposed to show me. What can LeBron show me? How to dribble? I don't need to know how to dribble. I'd rather know how to break down these scriptures to my people to uplift them and to get them out of them stripper poles and get them off of drugs. I'd rather that. I'd rather that. I pray you understand. And there's a greater reward for what we do than they ever could achieve in the oppressor's kingdom. Give me Daniel, the 6th chapter of Bakari Island, right? And I'm going to bounce you around. Baba Kushal. Start at Daniel 6 in verse 1. Shalom, Baba, Lord of Christ. Start at verse 1. Daniel 6 and 1.
The book of Daniel, chapter 6, verse 1. It pleased Darius to set the kingdom in 120 princes.
Salaga, before we go to Daniel 6 and 1, my bad. Daniel 3. Daniel 3 and 1.
Book of Daniel, chapter 3, verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof was 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dora, in the presence of Babylon.
Abad, show the image, right, of that Fawada priest. I appreciate you. That's my brother. Abad, put up that statue of Nebuchadnezzar, the one that's in Vegas that they have out there. So when you read in Daniel, the 3rd chapter, about that image of gold that he put up, they had that in Las Vegas right now. We saw it, Bakari Island. I was looking like, God damn, America is Babylon. America is Babylon. Now, Bakari, drop down to verse 10, Baba Quashar. It speeds you up, right? Nebuchadnezzar made this, this golden statue, and he's commanding everybody to bow down to this golden image of himself, to conform to Babylon. Now, we read earlier in Baruch, the 6th chapter, right, that when we're brought into Babylon, when we see the gods of silver and gold, that we should trust on the Most High. Don't bow down to these images, man. This is what Baruch told us. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. The Apocrypha is biblical canon. And you got to remember, Baruch was a prophet under Jeremiah. And Baruch was telling our people with the Most High, told them, we go into Babylon. Don't conform to this. Don't conform to it. If you could, I put it on the screen on the TV too, Bubba Bashar, so they can get a visual, you know what I mean, of what this is. Keep reading, Bakar, Daniel chapter 3 and verse 10.
Daniel 3, verse 10. Thou, king, hast made a decree that every man shall hear the sound of a horn, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image.
Ooh, he said, when you see this, you should bow down. When you hear this music and when you see this image, you supposed to. And you wonder why you get in church when that accordion and all those different instruments start playing. The sodomites start dancing and gyrating. That's what that's talking about. You got to bow down to that. You got to bow down. It's no different than being in that Christian church or Muslim mosque. You got to bow down and worship it. Read.
Verse 11. Whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, that he shall be cast into the midst of a burning furnace.
Read that last line again.
That he shall be cast into the midst of a burning furnace.
If you ain't bowed down to this, you was getting cast into a burning furnace. Nebuchadnezzar said, if you don't bow down to this, you're going into a furnace. And that's going to be more hotter than a little bit. Hotter than any hot girl summer. You know what I mean? hotter than Afghanistan on a summer day in July. That's 140 degrees Fahrenheit, Malakia. That's hot. Salakia. I pray you understand. Read verse 12.
God. Verse 12. Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon.
Now, there were certain Jews, right, that had authority in Babylon. Because when we went into Babylon, right, Nebuchadnezzar took the best of us. He took the brothers and sisters, man, that was smart, intelligent, you know what I mean, and that craft, you know what I mean. He took most of us, actually. There was few in number that was left in our land distraught and destroyed. But he took the best amongst our people. Meaning these brothers that are being talked about here in Daniel, the 3rd chapter, had stature in Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom, in Esau's world. Imagine you a brother, you a CEO, or you got a high, you know what I mean, job or whatever, slavery in Esau's kingdom. You know what I mean? They have influence. Keep reading.
God. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Remember those names, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Read.
God. These men, O king, have not regarded thee.
They snitching, Malachi. He said, you know, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they ain't bowed down. Now, when Nebuchadnezzar said this, I need you to understand. He said, whoever don't bow down to this is going into the burning furnace. And Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego was like, okay, no sweat. And did not bow down. Those brothers was one West. Those brothers was righteous soldiers. They looked at that, looked at everybody else bowing down, and was like, I know what y'all bowing down for. They're the epitome, and this is how you know, Malachi, that we're Israelites. It is funny, right? You know, Malachi, like myself, we be at the slavery talking about, I wish Esau would. Esau tell us to do something, and we just look like, you ain't over me. You don't outrank me. You ain't in charge. You got to be a brother over me and rank to tell me what to do. Excuse me. That's why we get fired all the time. You know what I mean, that's why we always looking for new slavers. You know what I mean? This shit ain't for us, Malachi. You know what I mean, we know we're supposed to be running things. But Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego was like, okay, what's what? They kept doing what they was doing and did not bow down. Read verse 13.
God. You want to finish out?
Matter of fact, finish up.
God. O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
Wow, that's heavy. He said they worship not thy gods. Why? Because they understand something. They understand something important that our people need to understand today. You want to give me Psalms quickly. 96 in verse 5. Let me get that. Psalms 96 and verse 5, and then we're going to come back to Bakariah. This is what Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego and Daniel understood. We'll go on to Daniel in a second. They understood in Psalms 96 and verse 5. You got it from me, warrior? Read.
Book of Psalms, chapter 96, verse 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols.
For all the gods of the nations are idols. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego looked at that and said, that's an idol. I ain't worshiping that. That ain't our God. That ain't Yahweh. I ain't worshiping that. That don't apply to me. Listen, that's how you know we Israelites. We all at the slavery at one point looked and said, this knowledge does not apply to me or whatever in life. And that's how we have to look at everything in this kingdom. Eating pork, that doesn't apply to us. We don't eat pork. Being a whoremonger, that is not applied to us. We're better than that. We don't do that. Eating crab and lobster, that doesn't apply to us. We don't do it because our God said not to. For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Our God made the heavens. Our God is the one to fear. That's who Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego feared. Now, drop down, right, Bakariah, to verse 13.
God, the Nebuchadnezzar in his rage and fury commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Oh, he was angry. Keep going.
Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up?
He said, is it true that you're not serving my gods and not, bowing down to the image I set up? Read.
God. Now, if ye be ready, what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made.
God.
Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you?
That's so heavy. This bastard said, who is the God that will save you from me? Oh, he's going to find out. Read verse 14.
16.
Oh, 16, yeah. Come on. Do what, Bakariah?
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter.
Let me translate that in nigga terms. You sure you want to hear what we got to say? You ready to hear this answer? I'm going to make you mad. Read.
Come, if it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace.
Ooh, he said, if it be so, our God is able to deliver us. Ooh,
And he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee.
This was what's so heavy. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego said, our God can deliver us from you. But read, this is so heavy. He said, if it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning furnace, he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, but if he doesn't, read.
O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
That's one West. They said, even if our God doesn't do it, we still not going to serve your gods. That's what it means to be one West. That's what it means to not conform to Islam or Christianity. So when we read it from Babylon to Timbuktu about how, the Jews, the devout Jews said, nah, man, we'd rather take the sword. We're not going to serve. That's the type of standing on business that we have to. And let me explain something to you how mad this heathen was. Drop down to verse 19.
Verse 19. This was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
His anger was so visible. That's why it says that Nebuchadnezzar was full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed. His countenance changed. He was angry. He was furious. He was big mad. Keep reading.
Against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, therefore he spake and commanded they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was want to be heated.
He said, listen, man, heat the furnace 7 times more than what it actually was and throw them niggas in it. Read verse 24. Throw them niggas in the furnace. Heat that joint up 7 times more. He was upset, Malachi, that them brothers stood on the Most High and said, we ain't going to do this. Read verse 7. Astonished. Wait a minute. Before we wait, Stalaki, my bad. Read verse 22, Baba Kushal. My bad. Skip us.
Verse 22. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent and the furnace exceeded hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
That flame was so hot that the fire killed the men that brought Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego into the furnace. The heathens that put them in the furnace got burnt up because it was so hot. Surely you would think Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego got burnt up by that too. Keep reading.
And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fire. And Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astonished and rose up in haste.
He was astonished. He was confused. He said, hold up. He was confounded. Read. Amazed.
And rose up in haste and spake and said to his counselors.
He said to his counselors, he did this right here. He stood up like Ashkenazi, we put three niggas in there, right? We put three niggas in there, right? It was three niggas we put in this furnace. You telling me we put three? Read. He reading.
Did not we cast three men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, true, O king.
He said, yeah, sir, we put three niggas in there. It was three niggas we put in there. So lock it. Read.
He answered and said, lo, I say 4 men loose.
He said, hold on, but it's 4 niggas in there. We put 3 niggas in there. It's 4 niggas. What's going on? We put 3 niggas in there. It's 4 in there. I know that had to be, I know that had to be something to see. And then you realize what happened. Read.
Walking in the midst of the fire.
Walking in the midst of the fire, chilling, just walking around. Mind you, this fire burned up the heathens that bound them and put them in there. Read.
And they have not so heard. In the form of the fourth is like the Son of God.
And the form of the fourth is like what?
The Son of God.
The Most High sent an angel down there to deliver Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego from Nebuchadnezzar. That's what our God can do. That's what our God is capable of. Why would you want to be a Muslim? Why would you want to be a Christian? Let me give you another instance of that. Like, give me in Bell and the Dragon, right? I will go to Daniel, the 6th chapter, but I'm gonna sum it up in Bell and the Dragon because it's the same story with the prophet Daniel or what happened with him. He got caught up in Babylon in a similar way. They was plotting on Daniel. Let me give you the backstory, right? What happened with Daniel? Go to Bell and the Dragon 1:30. So Daniel, you know what I mean? They made a decree after Nebuchadnezzar. It was so heavy. It's so I'm gonna go into it this Thursday. I'm gonna go into more of it this Thursday to break down Daniel, the 7th chapter for y'all, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman. So after Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonians was the Persians and the Medes, you know what I mean, under Darius. The Persians today, you know what I mean, are the so-called Iranians. So it's so heavy about it. After Nebuchadnezzar, he went into the Persian Empire. You know what I mean? After them was the Greeks, then the Romans. So they sought the plot on Daniel. Daniel was high up in their society too, ruling over provinces. And they said, yo, man, we got to get Daniel. We got to get him, man. Who Daniel think he is? You know what I mean? Who we think he is? Think he righteous? Think he running things because he a Jew? He said, how we going to get him? Let's make it so that he can't worship his God and he can't face the east and pray. You know what Daniel did? When they made that decree, they made a decree where Daniel couldn't serve the Most High. Daniel said, the hell with that. The hell with this image. The hell with idolatry. The hell with serving another God. I'm going to serve Yahweh. Read Bell and the Dragon 1:30.
Bell and the Dragon, chapter 1, verse 30. Then when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den.
Listen, man, they was plotting on Daniel. They said, hold on, man, Daniel got too much influence. Cast him into the lion's den. He was serving his God. When you made a decree, I mean, he wasn't supposed to do that. Read.
Where he was 6 days.
Daniel was 6 days in the lion's den. Ooh-wee. That's a rough situation to be 6 days. To be 6 days in a den with lions. Ooh-wee. Go ahead, read.
Verse 32. And in the den there were 7 lions.
7 of them. Go ahead.
And they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which then were not given to them to the intent they might devour Daniel.
They withheld food from these lions, so they made sure they can devour Daniel. But read, because Daniel was stiff and stood on the Most High, guess what happened? Them lions did not eat in that den. But what if I told you Daniel did eat? Read verse 33.
Oh God. Now there was in Jordan a prophet
Now in Judea, there was a prophet. Read.
called
Habakkuk. Now the Habakkuk that's being spoken about in the Bell and the Dragon is the same Habakkuk that was spoken about in the Bible. You know what I mean? Like how the same Daniel that spoke about in Bell and the Dragon is the same Daniel that was spoken about this. He'll be here. 15 minutes. Come on. Oh, he gonna be here? Okay, most of the time. That's what I was somewhere else. All right, no sweat. Keep reading.
who had made pots, broken bread in the bowl, and was going into the field to bring it to the reapers.
Now Habakkuk was making food for everybody. You know what I mean? Making food. He had pottage. He had stew. Keep reading.
But the angel of the Lord said unto him, go, carry the dinner and thou hast into Babylon unto King, who was in the lion's den.
Now, Habakkuk, imagine Habakkuk, you a young prophet of the Lord. You walking, you getting ready to feed everybody. You know what I mean? You got the stew in your hand, you know what I mean, and the rice and the pottage and all that. And then the angel of the Lord come and say, yo, man, take that to Daniel. Take that to Daniel in Babylon. Habakkuk is like, huh? Salakia, my Lord. Keep reading.
Come. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is.
Habakkuk was like, but my Lord, Salakia, sir, I ain't never seen Babylon. I don't even know where the den is. Read.
Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and buried him by the hair of his head, and through the tendency of his spirit set him in Babylon.
Imagine now the angel of the Lord grabbed Habakkuk by his head and then whoop. Now we in Babylon. We in the den with Daniel. Keep reading.
Oh God. Habakkuk cried, saying, O Daniel, take the dinner which God has set thee.
Ooh wee. The Lord remembered Daniel. The Lord remembered Daniel standing on business and came to sent an angel down to Habakkuk and said, make sure Daniel eat. Lions ain't gonna eat now, but Daniel will eat. Ooh wee. Keep reading.
Oh God. And then you said, thou hast remembered me, oh God.
Daniel was so humble, man. He's so filled with joy. He said, oh Lord, Yahweh, you remembered me. Keep reading.
Neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee.
Mm-hmm.
So Daniel arose and did eat. And the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately.
The Lord, listen, man, made sure Daniel ate and then set Habakkuk back into, you know what I mean, where he was in Judea. Now, it's two things that is amazing. I'm going to start with this one because I find it absolutely hilarious. Could you imagine Habakkuk going through that experience? I mean, mind you, he ain't seen, mind you, Daniel was taken away in Babylon. You know what I mean? Getting ready to go bring food, you know what I mean, to the rest of the brothers and sisters. I know for a fact, Malakia and Barzal, when Habakkuk got back to his rib was like, brother, where have you been? Habakkuk told his wife, baby, you ain't going to believe this. The angel of the Lord came back, took me to Babylon, and we fed Daniel. And his rib was like, nigga, we ain't seen Daniel in 20 years. It's been like 20 years. You ain't seen Daniel in that many years. You don't even know where Babylon is. It's a lie. That's a little different. I know that's what happened. But it's amazing in this that these heathens tried to set Daniel up to get him unalive, to get him killed by these lions, man, and starve them lions. But them lions ain't eat Daniel. But Daniel sat in that den and ate because the Lord remembered him. The Lord remembered him and the righteous stance that he took. You got to take the same stance that Daniel took, the same stance that Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego took. Now, I want you to read this. Keep reading, Malakia. Read verse 41. Read verse 40, Bubba Kashaw.
Verse 40. Upon the seventh day, the king went to bewail Daniel. And when he came into the den, he looked in, and behold, Daniel was sick.
The king was upset. He thought Daniel was going to be coming. He's like, not my nigga. He gone. He came in there and opened up, looked in that door, and Daniel was sitting there just eating that pottage, chilling, you know what I mean, in there chilling. Lions not touching him. Because Daniel was a powerful priest and prophet of the Most High. He stood on the Lord's business. He read.
Then cried the king with a loud voice, saying, Great art, great art, Lord God of Daniel, and there is none other besides thee.
There is no other God besides the God of blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. There's only Yahweh. Even this heathen understood that. Read.
And he drew him out and cast those that were the cause of his destruction into the den, and they were devoured in a moment before his face.
Listen, he took them, and he didn't just take them. If you read in Daniel, the 6th chapter, all those heathens that plotted against Daniel, he took those heathen men, their wives, and their children, and put them in that lion's den. And the scripture says they made mastery of them. That's the God that we serve. The next 32 minutes wrap up. I'm getting ready to anyway. Don't worry about it. If I can get one last scripture, right? Well, two last scriptures. The Lord said in Romans 8:31, if our God be for us, who can be against us? Ibad, give me Exodus 23 and 22. And Bakaria Allah, give me 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. Let me get Exodus 23 and 22 first. This is the God that we serve, man. If we do what the Lord says, guess what? Read.
This is book of Exodus 23, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice,
If we obey the Most High's voice, guess what? Read.
and do all that I speak,
And do all that the Lord speak. Read.
then I will be an enemy unto thine enemy,
Mm-hmm.
and an adversary unto thine
The
adversary.
Lord will be an enemy unto our enemies and an adversary unto our adversaries. That's what our God said. He'll be an enemy unto our enemies and an adversary unto our adversaries. Our God said that if we serve him, if we keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, we ain't got to worry about our enemies. He'll be an enemy unto our enemies and an adversary unto our adversaries. That's why we have to understand this. Give me 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9, Baba Shaw.
You said 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9.
Okay.
But ye are the chosen generation.
We are that chosen generation of the Most High. We're the ones that were chosen to come back into this truth and to get our life together. Not to conform to Christianity or Islam, not to conform to Babylon and Egypt and America. Read.
Royal priesthood.
A royal priesthood. This ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, this is that royal priesthood. Not the purple lads and the IUIC. Not your fake Israelite groups. Not your individualites. Not your Muslims or Christians. The ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yohana. We are that royal priesthood. Read.
And holy nation.
In holy nation, a separate nation. Read.
A peculiar people.
A peculiar people, a special people unto the Lord thy God. Read.
That ye shall shew forth the praise of him who have called you out of darkness to the marvelous light.
We've been called out of the darkness, meaning we were called out of the world, called out of America into his marvelous light. Meaning this, we were called back into this truth. Akim, Akwafiam, brothers and sisters, I beseech you to change your life, to become a new man, to become a new woman, to come into the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohana if you want to save your life. That's the solution to every problem that blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians have. I want to implore you all to pay your tithes, pay your Passover fee. We got the Passover rocking out on April 20th, you know what I mean, Durham, North Carolina. And with that being said, I'm going to pass the class off to Priest and Officer Mathunga.
Security announcement. I became started on West on 25th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Group of new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to set themselves in the word. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it after 6 months. If a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. commandment. You can find it in Numbers chapter 18, verses 21, Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'asharah, 10% of everything. Of any increase the Lord gives you, give it to the teacher. So I give to a treasury department. One free will offer for free, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation, April 20th, got the Passover coming up the door from North Carolina. Remind Hakim and Aquakim to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black pants, shirt, boots, headband, and scarf. And with that, an individual like Michael. An individual, I'll give one person salute. An individual like Michael. So I imagine, so rock. So, I imagine just we said. Individual gonna give one person salute. Individual I'm I imagine, so rock. I'll tomorrow. I'll tell about shit out the shop. That's